feel very blessed to be here. I've always wanted to come to New Mexico. I've dreamed of it for a very long time. And I'm very proud to be here to support Martin's candidacy because we need him in the Senate. I can tell you, when you look at Washington, you know it's broken. And what we need are leaders. We need people to come to Washington and find core common values that we share. We need people who are willing to work across party lines to find that commonality and build bridges and build consensus. And what I like so much about Martin is he knows who he is. And he goes forward fighting for his causes, fighting for what's right, and brings people around those causes. So for example, he's someone who got elected to a very tough Republican seat that hadn't been Democrat. That's a very hard thing to do. Yep. When I got elected in 2006, my district was 2-1 Republican. But what worked when I ran for that office was that people knew I shared something in common with them, that I was going to be their voice, to fight for them, to care about their children as much as I care about my own children. That's exactly what Martin brings to the table. He has young kids, he has a young family, he has fresh ideas. He believes in women's rights, he believes in LGBT rights, he believes that every child brought here by their parents should have a chance to be successful, to reach the American dream, to get their college education, to be in the military, to do whatever they want to earn that citizenship. That is who Martin is, that's what he believes in, and there are many people who will share that common ground. When we repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell, when I first started lobbying for that in the Senate, we didn't have a lot of allies early on. But over time, when you began to develop the cause and the case to say, why should anyone who wants to serve this country and even die for this country not be able to based on who they love? And so we had hearings and we developed our case to say, look, we've lost 13,000 personnel. We'd lost more than 10% of our foreign language speakers. We'd lost more than 1,000 in mission critical areas that couldn't be replaced. And so you could go to our Republican colleagues, our moderates, and say, well, even if you won't support marriage equality, you could at least believe in military readiness. You could at least believe that we need all of our best and brightest serving at a time of 2 wars and terrorism on every front. Now, Martin serves on the Armed Services Committee, so these are issues he knows passionately, and that's what we need in the Senate. We also need a new generation of leaders. We need people who are going to come to Washington with a knowledge of common sense, a knowledge and understanding of what middle-class families go through every day, a knowledge of how do I balance raising my children, getting food on the table, making sure they have every opportunity to reach their God-given potential. Someone who sees some of the challenges parents face today with autism rates, with asthma rates, with childhood obesity. Those are real issues. He wants to see that every child in America can reach that God-given potential, and that makes a difference. And so that's the kind of common sense that I think we so desperately need. I know Martin can win this race, and the reason why I know he can win is because of people here today. Every race is won on the grassroots, and Patsy knows that better than anyone. You have to be able to go door to door and speak passionately about why someone shares your values, why someone represents you better than anybody else. And because so many of you bothered to turn out tonight, I know he's got what it takes. He's got you. He's got the door-to-door grassroots ground troops that actually can turn elections. Now, this election could not be a more important election. I'm telling you, the choices that are being made today are very severe. We have 2 presidential candidates who are on opposite sides of every issue you care about. If you care about clean air and clean water, if you care about educating the next generation, if you care about equality for women and LGBT Americans, you can only support President Obama. And if President Obama doesn't have the Senate to draw that line in the sand, when we have a House of Representatives that is literally spending all their time debating contraception, you need somebody like Martin to hold the line in the Senate. And I can tell you he will make a difference. So thank you for participating. It's a real privilege and pleasure to be here to support you, Martin. The floor is yours.